it's the tricky nature of when Tony wrote the book, he had in his head these characters of a certain age, but then of course when he comes to the practicality of then casting that for a play, you go, oh, okay, the young people having to carry a play that's 75 minutes is a challenge, but I think they've done a brilliant job, and Fraser, who's the director, has done an amazing job getting the performance out of them. I think that's true.
No, the kids are actually quite near the age that they're depicted in the book. I think Sophia, the actress, she's just turned 16 in the last couple of weeks, and Rory, who is George, is 15, about to turn 16, I think. And Noah is about my son's age, which is about 11. So
reading the book, and I thought, wow, this is fabulous as a book, as a novel. And then how to transfer that to the stage was obviously the challenge. And full-heartedly, probably, I thought, yes, this will work, and went for a first draft. And the first draft was much more loyal to the book. And the second draft then I had to go off on a bit of a tangent to make it work as a play, which is the hard part for me, to be true to what Tony has written, but also then make it work as a play with the relationships on the stage that didn't feel like you were just watching a presentation of a novel. What did you think when you first saw it?
Well, it's certainly quite a bit different from the book. It's really weird hearing my characters say things that they didn't say.
A few more jokes in there.
Yes, the whole dialogue thing is a really interesting thing, because in a novel, the dialogue's got to do a huge amount of work. It's got to tell you a lot about the characters. You don't want to stop the action to explain what they're doing or where they're sitting and all that sort of stuff. So when I read your dialogue, it's actually quite flat. But of course, you're adding in, with your experience, what's going to happen on the stage and how the people are going to react and that sort of stuff. So it's quite different, and it's really interesting to read quite different dialogue and see it come alive on the stage, which is quite amazing, I think.
We had there's a few people who couldn't come to this, but they emailed me and they wanted to ask Rita you a question about design, and how did you approach designing? Did you approach it as you would normally reading a play, or did you go back to the source, or did you concentrate on making the play work?
Actually, I read Tony's book before I read the play.
Right.
And then I read the first draft, and then I don't think the first draft was around when I knew I was doing it, so I read the book first. And so I guess I started that way, which, so I guess in a way I was creating the world. In Tony's book they leave the house a lot more, and there's, they go down the street and all that sort of stuff. So it was a relief actually when I read that I didn't have to do that, because it's quite challenging to move the set around on a small budget.